Hey Simlies, it's Deligracy here with a speed build of Aria's house. Aria is a character from one of my LPs, the Twins LP, which is basically, if you haven't watched it, an LP about twins, their sisters, Aria and Lori, and it's been a very dramatic LP because from the very beginning of it, I've said that I wanted to play this how I would play it honestly in my own time, which usually my personal gameplay involves a lot of drama. I kill Sims, which sounds really awful, but I'm really not that awful person. And it's just filled with drama. So anyway, we're actually moving Aria into her own house and Laurie as well, who's going to live in the townhouse next door to this lot. However, they're going to be on the same lot. So sorry, I should rephrase that. Aria will live in one townhouse on the lot and Laurie will live in the other townhouse on the lot. So these townhouses are already available for download, both unfurnished on the gallery. You can search me Deligracy with a capital D if you want to download those. The gallery can be accessed just online, just Google Sims 4 Gallery or through your game, your Sims 4 game. But yeah, basically I've just done Aria's house first in terms of finishing, and then I'll actually get Laurie's done afterwards. So there we go. As you guys can probably tell by my voice, I am sick. I have a cold. We're just coming out of winter in Australia, whilst a lot of the world is just coming out of their summer, going into autumn or fall, as a lot of you will call it. But yeah, in Australia, we're just coming out of winter. There's a lot of sickies around, and I've had a couple of days off work. So that's why there's something wrong with my voice. This is quite a long video. I spent a lot of time on this house. So I think this is going to go for half an hour of hanging out. Woo! Usually that's awesome fun, but because I am a bit low on energy and it's a bit difficult for me to talk, if I say goodbye halfway through this and play some music instead, that's the reason why. If I suddenly am like, I've got to go, it's because I've kind of hit the wall. But hopefully not. I promise I'll pick really fun music if I do. And also apologies if I do cough or splutter. But I do have my very expensive water here, which I posted on Instagram. Stupidly expensive water called Antipodes. But it tastes so good. Like, water doesn't even taste like anything, but this tastes so good. Like, I don't know what it is. It's just like the holy water. I love it. But anyways, so Aria's house, basically we're building this whilst furnishing it because I really wanted to get a sense of the layout of this house. This is slightly tricky, this build, because it needs to be really long and narrow in order for us to fit the other townhouse on the same lot, which is going to be Laurie's. We actually do move this townhouse when we get into properly furnishing it onto a bigger lot where Laurie's is going to be placed next to it. You'll probably see Laurie's because hers is already built, just not finished. And basically the two townhouses aren't the same design. They're not the same build, but they have a very similar aesthetic. So they've obviously been built at the same time, or at least that's kind of the feeling I wanted to convey. And they're also by the same architect, yours truly. So they have a similar style, and this style is definitely the contemporary look that I love and adore. And I know I do a lot of builds like this, but I just really wanted to have a house true to my aesthetic in the LP. The idea is they're going to probably be in these homes temporarily. My reason for that is I don't know why. I just have the storyline in my head. I'm like, yeah, this doesn't feel like Aria's, final house in the LP. Like, this feels like she's going to live here for a while because the house is quite contemporary. It's very white, it's very cream, it's very beige, lots of light colors. In a way, it's actually very glam. And these girls came from a lot of money, okay? Their dad was a famous scientist, Lionel, or shall we call him Lionel? If you've watched the LP, you'll understand why I pronounce his name like that. But basically, their dad passed away and left a whole fortune, the Lofton fortune, to them. So they have a lot of money for their first homes. So they thought they would just get some nice townhouses. They would downsize. I'm saying that while making quotation marks with my fingers because these houses are not small by any means. They're big houses. But for the girls, they might feel a bit smaller. And yeah, I don't know. I think they'll work quite well. And Thorn, who is, Lionel thought Thorn was his son. But as it turns out, his maid, Esmeralda, kind of convinced him that Thorn was his son, but it was really the butler's son. And he ended up marrying Esmeralda, and she had Thorn. But anyways, we need to make room for Thorn in this, so Aria is going to adopt him. He's going to be living in her home here, so we make sure he has a teen room. And yeah, really, I just was thinking about Aria, what kind of taste she would have if she moved into her own home. And it was kind of, I was a little bit confused on whether she would be a glam girl, like all white, all glam, all cream, because I imagine in my head she would be a little bit of a control freak. And I don't blame her. Like, she's got a lot of drama that's happened in her life, and maybe that's the way that she's learnt to deal with it. If she can control everything around her and keep everything neat, maybe she feels like she's got more control over her life or something like that. Of course, I'm not saying that if you are someone watching who would probably describe themselves as a control freak, I'm not saying you have to have had family drama to be like that. I mean, that's just you. We're all different. Being a control freak is great in many ways. But in this case, for Aria, that's kind of what I'm thinking about her character development. So, I think we go more with the glam look. I feel like she would have just paid an interior designer to do her house. But really, I think Aria's got a lot of appreciation for the more traditional or older style. And we see hints of it throughout this house, but it's kind of blended with the ultra glam look. And I was really excited to actually use some gold accents in this house. That is something I'm very excited about. Aria's always been into light pastel colours in her first home in the LP that we moved into, because they've lived in 2 homes so far. In the first home, her room was characterized by pastel blue. So we have a lot of pastel blue. You can see it in the windows already, and lots of white and cream. And she's just like the kind of girl, because now she's grown into an adult. She's like, she has it under control. She loves a clean house. She loves a fresh house, and she loves having people over and entertaining and cooking. And she just really wanted a home where Thorn and her could live away from, the drama that they've had in their life, which could have been quite damaging. They wanted a whole new, neat, clean, new townhouse, kind of no fuss for them to move into. So that's what we're creating here today. And I'm just pretty much finalizing the exterior of the house. We just needed to bring some of those edges in, pull some of them out to make it, or the shape, a little bit more irregular, because if it's just like all the same, you just kind of have a bit of a box house and you have these long walls and you don't know what to put on them, and you're like, paintings, windows. But if we just bring out a few of those walls and make it a bit irregular, it definitely makes it a lot more interesting. And yeah, I mean, that's probably some good advice to give you guys who might have just started out building. But the townhouse next to this house looks really cool, I think, because they are different shapes. They're not mirrored townhouses. When I've done townhouses in the past, they've always mirrored each other, but these ones, they're definitely unique to each other. And I also like having on the balconies grass or astroturf. This was inspired by the well-being game pack that came out. Game pack? Stuff pack. Oh my gosh, I always get them so confused. But basically it came with yoga stuff and like meditation cushions that your sim can sit on and like rise up into the air if they get really good at meditation. And I just thought, that astroturfy look or that grass on balconies would be a really lovely spot to meditate and relax. I have done yoga in the past. I've really liked yoga. I want to do it again. And I think it's such an amazing thing to introduce to your life because it just makes you feel so much more relaxed, especially if you're someone who gets anxious or stressed really easily. Yoga is actually a really good way to be able to control or, just be able to relax a little bit more. I definitely recommend it. And the thing is, you do need a good yoga instructor because I've been to yoga classes at, say, the gym. Okay, sorry, I just have to interrupt here. We've just moved onto the new lot. You can see Laurie's house built beside it. I'll have a build and finish of that house soon, but they are both available for download unfurnished, or once I do finish Laurie's, they'll both be available finished. And it's super easy. If you only want one of them, you can place them on your lot and then use the move lot tool and actually cut off the townhouse you don't want by just shifting it over to the side of the lot, or you can just do it the long way with the sledgehammer tool. But yes, if you want to do yoga, I suggest you find a good yoga instructor because I've done classes at the gym. And one thing I really don't like about gyms, I love gyms. It's a really great way for me to work out. I find that I do really well in that environment. But some of the classes I don't like, and these two classes would be yoga and Pilates. I'm a little bit biased because my mum used to be a Pilates instructor, so I learned from someone who really knew what they were doing. And when I went to gym classes of Pilates, I was like, this is all wrong. Like, they're not actually teaching you how to do sit-ups properly, or they're not telling you the basics of Pilates, like putting your pelvic floor on, all of that jazz. And I just felt like people weren't really doing what Pilates is. And yoga can also be kind of interpreted in the wrong way. So the yoga that I like is yoga that includes stretching and also a bit of yoga nidra, which is relaxation and meditation at the end. And that's the kind of yoga that I think is helpful rather than doing just the intense yoga. Bikram yoga I haven't done before, but I think my understanding, I could be wrong, is that is often a much more intense yoga. So anyways, I just went on the biggest ramble then, the biggest rant. Anyways, I'm passionate about yoga. I need to get back into yoga. That's what we're finding out right now, aren't we? Anyways, so we're doing the dining area. And I thought these traditional chairs were kind of nice as a contrast to the really contemporary surroundings. But we actually changed them because I decided I needed to inject some color into this very blue environment, blue and white environment. So we actually make those chairs a great peachy pink color in a second. At the moment, I'm trialing it out on the walls, and I was like, oh, maybe I can introduce color through curtains, but that just wasn't looking very good. For those of you who are fans of curtains in all your builds, I don't use curtains very often in my builds. I just kind of don't put them in. But for this build, we have curtains everywhere, so hopefully that'll keep you happy. So we introduced colors to begin with with these new flowers that came with the new stuff pack, Cool Kitchen stuff pack. And we're actually going to change the chairs in a second to that really fun pinky chair right here. Super cute. We do keep those end chairs on there for a little while, but in the end I get rid of them because I felt like it didn't exactly tie in with the lounge room once we get that lounge room finished. Putting in these stools, I liked that they mismatched the stools around the corner because otherwise it just felt a little bit too repetitive. And this was fun, just playing around with tables. The area under the stairs, I really, really like it once we add a couple more objects to it. I think it looks really cool, but we'll get to that soon. And we're just moving up some mirrors here. We're experimenting a little bit with those mirrors. And I watched a build by Connor today while I was sick. I tweeted out and I said on Twitter, like, if anyone wants to link me one of their builds, do it now. And at first, no one tweeted me. I was like, oh, well, that's no fun. But then like an influx of tweets came in and I got to watch some of your builds, and they were really, really good and impressive. And Connor, a Simly and YouTuber, he showed me his speed build of for my Barbie LP. I've actually asked viewers for them to build a store for diamonds to go to get dressed at. Sorry, I just had a bit of a throat issue just then. Anyway, Connor built a boutique or a store, and he called it Llama Republic. So good. Anyway, he was overlapping mirrors and stuff, and so then I was just trying to experiment with that, but I couldn't really make it work just then, so I thought, we'll just leave it simple, stacked, elongated mirrors. And I like how this lounge room sectioned off with half walls. I definitely saw this, I've seen this heaps in The Sims 3, but I saw it in someone else's build recently, so it kind of reminded me how fun it is to kind of section off rooms with half walls rather than full walls. Thought that was kind of fun, and it's great gradually getting some new building things into the game, such as half walls, because you can start really bringing in the ideas and the creativity that you once used in The Sims 3 into The Sims 4, and that's really exciting to see and to try out. I also love the gold. Oh, I love gold in some of the furniture that's coming out. Like, I actually did not realize there was gold furniture, because when I did the review of these stuff packs and game packs, I would have got way more excited. I just didn't realize how gold it was, but this coffee table is to die for, and I love these little lanterns. So we make this ultra glam gold, cream, and white living area, and it just got me really excited. We tried putting a tea set there, which is kind of cool if you're ready to have some tea, which I think Aria would like, and trying to put in some indoor plants or trees here. I figured we couldn't put in another mirror there because there was a mirror right next to it, and that was just like mirror overkill. We don't want Aria to come across as too vain. And right here, I was actually trying to disguise that fireplace so it looked like it was more built into a wall. But you can see there the white strip of it still comes through, so I just didn't think that it was working too well. So we actually got rid of that, and I think we just we tried 2 trees for a while. I'm pretty sure we got rid of those. So. We also tried putting up some windows here. But then I was like, it's working. It's not really working. I feel like I was inspired by someone's build I watched today as well. I think I watched 5 builds, so I'm a little bit confused with whose it was. But if you're watching, you're like, oh my God, she totally stole my idea. It was inspiration. And for what it's worth, I didn't actually end up using it. But it is a lovely idea. Kind of putting windows through columns. I do like that, and I suppose I did that in the mall build. So, apparently terracotta pots are coming back in. Give it a year, give it 6 months, or maybe if you're in parts of the world that are more on trend more quickly, like Paris, you might already be seeing this, but terracotta pots are apparently gonna be a thing soon. So I'm excited for that. I love terracotta pots. So I decided to put in a couple there. And I think they look quite pretty. I mean, terracotta pots are always in. They're a classic. Can't go wrong. But I was reading some trend forecasting, and they're going to be pushing them out pretty hard soon, I think. At least in Australia. Alrighty. So the bathrooms, they have this really lovely color scheme. This is a color scheme I haven't really worked with before, and there's this moss green with white tiles, which I thought was really nice, and then we have these kind of creamy colors introduced there as well as accent colors, so a little bit different. It would probably date really quickly, but I thought it was kind of nice for this. And I do love that wallpaper that has this strip of one color aside, a contrasting color. I think that looks really nice, and I quite enjoyed placing these mirrors on top of each other in a bit of a, what would you call that orientation? I'm thinking of the word. It's a game where you have to like match up colors. it's gone. But anyways, I like it. That's the main point. And we put a simple little white bench in the corner there so you could sit on there to put your socks on or put your bath oils on or what have you. And then this little room up the end, this could be a bedroom. I would suggest if you were making this into a bedroom that you would move a door into that main bathroom onto the kitchen side, because it'd just be awkward if, you had a guest over and they're like, oh, where's the bathroom? And you're like, oh, just go through a little Danny's room and then you'll get there, because it feels like it's an ensuite. So, yeah, I don't know where I pulled the name Danny from. I just did. Hey, Danny, if there's a Danny watching, that's a shout out to you. Anyway, so this is an L-shaped desk, and this is Aria's office, so I wanted her to have lots of bits and bobs everywhere, lots of books. She is a doctor in utilizing the Get to Work expansion pack, and I just thought she needed lots of study books, because to be a doctor, you got to study a lot. There's a lot of medical knowledge you've got to have, so I thought that worked quite well. And it's got blue carpet, pretty out there, and I love these new posters. Oh, they're so nice. That came with a cool kitchen stuff pack, and wow, we are speeding like there is no tomorrow just then. This is going to be a nice little outdoor area, so we've kind of avoided putting in a pool or a fountain, just because if you did watch the Twins LP, we had the unfortunate dinner party that resulted in someone drowning. I won't say who in case you want to watch the LP, but it was so sad. It was like horror in The Sims. Like, I felt bad after posting it because I was like, that was really heavy for The Sims. It was just quite graphic, and I actually think that the game, without spoiling it, did something that the game isn't actually meant to do, because pregnant women and children, I'm pretty sure they're not meant to be able to die in The Sims, just because it's quite a heavy topic. And so I was just like, wow, I'm pretty sure that wasn't allowed to happen. Anyways, my nose is so blocked. I'm so sorry if this is like really annoying to listen to. I just felt like it was better to get a video out being sick than not posting anything, because I don't know, I just felt like that was better, because I know for a lot of you, posting the videos make a big difference to your days. So I just wanted to get a video out. And also, if I release another build video or another couple of builds, it's because I actually find it a lot easier to record builds when I'm unwell or sick, just because I don't know what it is. When you're doing an LP, you really need to be quick on your feet, and there's a lot going on that you need to notice. I know that sounds ridiculous, but in the comments, I'm sure there's a lot of times when I've done this where, well, of course there is #DerpyDeli, where I'm like playing the game and I do something really stupid, or I don't see something, and you guys like screaming in the comments, how did you not see that, Deli? And you've just got so much going on that sometimes you don't even notice that, because you're commentating whilst playing the game, whilst figuring out what's happening next. Like, you other LPs know how it is. So it's just a little bit more difficult to do when I'm sick, and I figured I'll avoid a lot of DerpyDeli moments if I don't record when I'm sick in LP. So instead, I relax, I build for a bit, and then I just sit back and have a chin wag to you guys. And it's lovely. It's lovely. Yeah, just hanging out. So obviously we've been working on the master bedroom. This is Aria's bedroom. We're actually, in the screenshots, you're going to see a different bed and a few changes in the room, because when I stopped recording, I just looked at it. I was like, it's not right. So I actually went back and changed a few things. I didn't record it, sorry, because I didn't think I was changing much. And then I realized, I probably should have recorded that because, once you make one change, you're like, I'll put this pot plant here and I'll do this. Oh, I should do that. Oh, that means I should do this. So I ended up making several changes. It's not too drastic though. It was really annoying. That stacked coffee table, an idea I got from Jacob on Twitter. Jacob's awesome. You should follow Jacob. And anyways, I saw that by Jacob. I thought that's cool. But the game actually just deleted it. So I was like, oh, that's lame. Oh well. And yeah, just finding a nice mirror to put in the corner here. I think I actually delete that mirror. I think that's one of the things that goes. And yeah, I have hair in my mouth. Ew. So we do put a hot tub spa in, which is different to a fountain because your Sims can't fall in it. And we're just about to do some work on the wardrobe. So there is a walk-in wardrobe. You've got to go through the main bedroom or master bedroom's ensuite to get to it. Gosh, that took me a while to get out. But we just got some hanging clothes in there and just making it look all snazzy-wazzy. Do like a walk-in wardrobe. I love a walk-in wardrobe, actually. And putting some tissue boxes around. I swear there are so many tissue boxes in this furnish. Like, I use that tissue box object a gazillion times. We need some more clutter objects. That would be great. Some more clutter objects, some more paintings, because in every Sims game, that's what you're always looking for. That's what you're always struggling with. Although in The Sims 3, it kind of got to the point where you had so many to go through. You're like, oh my gosh, I can't find anything. But, you get there in the end. I've also got a voting poll on at the moment. I was thinking, it just came to me one day it came to me today actually. I was like, maybe I should be calling you guys Simmies, just because it rolls off the tongue easier than Simlies, because it's like Simlies. And then Simmies, it's just, I don't know, a bit more badass. So I have a poll. If you guys are watching this for the first time, I call my subscribers Simlies because I just feel like calling you guys subscribers or fans is just, I don't know, it just doesn't feel right. A lot of YouTubers do this. I think a lot of YouTubers do it just because they want to be, I don't know. Some YouTubers just do it for, I don't know what reason. But my reason is just like, and I'm sure a lot of other YouTubers feel this way, but like you just don't feel right calling someone a subscriber. It's just so impersonal. So anyways, I'll put the link to the voting poll in the description down below so you guys can vote. But I was like, Simmies is kind of easier to say. It's more badass. That's what it is. Or Simlies is beautiful. I'm happy to stay with Simlies, but just vote. I'm pretty sure most people are voting for Simlies at the moment, last time I checked. So I'll check it in a couple of days. Also, I've been looking through, this is Thorn's room, and I quite like how this turns out in the end. It takes us a little while to get there, but it's very bright. It's very vibrant. And Thorn is going to bring back someone from the dead. I won't spoil it if you haven't watched the LP, through making the Ambrosio recipe, which brings Sims back from the dead. And so he's going to be working hard to get his cooking skill level up to 10. I'm not sure if we have to get it to 10 in both gourmet and cooking or just cooking. I'll actually have to look that up. But that's why a lot of his room has foodie things around it. Lots of bright colors, lots of citrus and kind of green and orange. And it's going to become a lot more harmonious soon because that bedspread, bright red, we're actually going to do something crazy and change it to bright yellow. Yellow, I know yellow. It's just crazy. So yeah, exciting times. I'm excited for this room. I just got really excited. Oh, I love The Sims. I really do. Yeah, and he has a fish tank in his room because he doesn't love fish. I actually used to have a fish. His name was Astro, and one of my favorite names is Astrid, but he was a boy, so I called him Astro. And he was a good fish. He died in the end. Fish don't often have a very long lifespan, at least in my care. This one didn't, I'm sad to say, but I am awesome at taking care of guinea pigs. I looked after guinea pigs. Well, I had guinea pigs as pets when I was younger, and my guinea pig lived for 9 years. 9 years. Their lifespan is 5 years. I'm like, I am the guinea pig caring queen. So while I may not be good with fish, I am kick-ass at looking after a guinea pig. So just keep that in mind before you judge. Not that I think you guys are going to judge, but just in case you were, wanted that to be clear. Oh, golly. And we've also got a little chess table up here, which is cool. But I kind of feel bad with fish tanks. I feel bad for the fishies sometimes. I don't know. It's like when I go to zoos, there's a part of me that loves going to the zoo, but at the same time, I'm kind of sad because I'm like, these animals should be in the wild. But then again, so many of them are endangered. The zoo is a safe place for them and maybe a better place than if they were in the wild. It's just unfortunate that they just can't be in the wild where they really should be. So yeah, this is just like a nice little sitting nook. We're about to get to the screenshots now, so that will be very nice. Okay, so this is the front of the house. It's very elongated, as I said, and you can get a sneak peek of the other townhouse next to it. We're in the entrance there. You get a nice view of kind of the layout of the house, a nice bar in that walled off lounge area. Loving that beautiful chandelier coming down at the entrance. Really cool. There's the pink chairs, bit of injection of color into the more muted palette or cool palette of the room. And I do like putting an ottoman under the console table. I think that looks really nice. Love that area under the staircase. I think that looks pretty cool. And a very nice, light, bright kitchen for Aria to cook in and also for Thorn to cook in as well, because we want him to get that cooking skill level up. Aria's office, quite cozy. It reminds me of her father's home office too, and we've got some bathrooms as well. Actually tried to put a floor plan in here because I was getting a few comments, can you please put the floor plan in? But for some reason the screenshots didn't save. I'm like, what? I don't know what happened there, so I am sorry. Here's the cool room that I liked. Even though it's a blow-up bed, I'm imagining that it's a normal bed. So if you can imagine that with me, that would be good. And yeah, then this is the manly bathroom. The little seating nook for those who want to sit down upstairs. And this is the master bedroom, which had a few changes. I think it looks a lot better now once we get to the bed. And, you know, the easels change color to kind of blend into the wall area. And we've got this cool, like, nice little gridded light decor on the wall. And I just think it works better. It's just working, looking a little bit more harmonious, which is good. And these are the two townhouses side by side. So you got to see that. Anyways, thanks so much for watching. I hope you guys are having a lovely morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world. And I'm excited to get better and speak to you guys soon.